today we're going to do some deeply unethical breeding. But because your mom is busy, we're going to use pals. And we're going to start a fresh base because this place is a disaster. And I've been eyeballing this area for a while. It is big and flat and very close to a teleporter. The first step to this giant adventure is setting this somewhere in the center where we have lots of room to grow. Then we just need to ask the locals for permission to settle here. Now I found before that working on the natural ground doesn't really work, so we need some floors. We're gonna need a lot of floors. Hopefully that's enough room. I'm gonna start with one breeding farm here overlooking the valley. It seems very romantic to me. And we're gonna start with a single incubator right here. That way it's easy to find. And that's for their sake. They couldn't find their way out of a paper bag. Now we just gotta decide what we want to inbreed for 1,000 generations. And you know what? I kinda like this, because it is amazingly fast and I think we could breed an even faster one. Plus, it has a large amount of missiles on board that absolutely wreck everything. But I currently only have one and they're extremely hard to catch. Unless you're a filthy cheater like me, and then it's quite easy. That one's also a pyromaniac, so we're hopefully gonna breed that particular trait away. And we have to do all this while managing intruders on our base. Luckily I've got a high-powered assault rifle, which takes things down instantly. The best part about trying to work with these is how fast they are. I'm trying to pick him up and he just zooms away from me every time. There we go, these enormous dragons should be perfectly happy in their piles of hay. But if I understand this correctly, I'm going to need cake. And I suppose also a feeding box so they can eat. Now in order to make the cake we need, we can use a cooking pot. But we also need a pal with kindling in order to use this. And I understand there's one pal in particular that is especially good at lighting stuff on fire. We just have to borrow it from a wildlife sanctuary. These are exactly what we're looking for, the big fire dragons. Get in my ball and we'll be on our way. Actually, that depends. We have a logging foreman. We get a better stat. What about you guys? Are you good for anything? Well, we'll let him loose in the base and he'll be able to do his task very quickly. I wonder how long it would take him to make 2 billion cakes. I guess we'll find out. No creature in my orbit is going to have a fun day. But he's making maybe 50 cakes per second, so he'll keep himself busy for a while. There are some structures that make other things more efficient, like cutting down wood. I don't know if there's anything for breeding because I can't imagine what that would be. But we have 8,000 cakes already, so thank you for your service. You'll be here for a while. Oh, and we actually already have our first egg. Simply a huge dragon egg, so we put it in the incubator and off it goes. It's done. And out of it, we got another jet dragon. This one's a pyromaniac and a glutton. Curiously, that one takes after me more than its own parents. So they seem to be producing eggs reasonably fast, but if we can make things bigger, why wouldn't we? So we just need to keep breeding and breeding and breeding until we get some with the faster traits. But we are going to need some pals to do a lot of the handiwork around here, and I know just where to get them. Hi, me again. Get in my balls. One of those actually had 3 very high tier things. That one's got Musclehead as well. But those 2 are the very fastest at handiwork. So we're getting a really top tier team going on already. And we have another huge dragon egg already. This one only has Divine Dragon. Nothing else there is worth it. But we're due for a few more incubators at this point so we can speed this process up in a big way. We're not done yet. They seem to mostly be keeping up with what I'm asking them to do, so that's a pretty good start. Probably going to need a lot of storage here from all the disasters we're making, so we now have a giant crate. And my fire guy actually made 10,000 cakes before quitting. I realized I could multiply the eggs also, so I gave myself 10,000 huge dragon eggs, but it turns out the game doesn't like 10,000 huge dragon eggs. It won't do anything at all with them. So far these morons are mostly flying around getting stuck everywhere, but we'll make that work. Finally managed to catch up with this moron. Now get in there and mate with your parents. Okay, good news. Not only did I get these loving siblings breeding again, but I think I found a way to cheat and multiply the eggs so we don't even have to wait for that. Well, I've clearly broken things pretty badly, but I can hatch eggs in 15 minutes. So if I get a bunch of eggs and a bunch of fires and a bunch of structures, I can actually make this work. So we just need a structure that's going to be a little bit warm. And then learn that you can only build so many incubators at a time because as I place a new one, it tears down an old one. Okay, it would only do that so long as they were in this stage. If they're actually built, it won't get rid of an existing one. I believe I found the problem. Incubation is complete, so long as it's a naturally spawned dragon egg. If it's one of my many duplicates, then it's not going to count as a real egg at all. So I don't actually need more incubators, ironically. I need more breeding farms. Either that or to wait 15 minutes, which we're going to see if this actually works. Because if that does, then I can take 15 minutes for all of these and we can get mucho dragons. 15 minutes later and we have another bugged egg. But in those 15 minutes, these guys produced us 4. Also not really sure what's going on with the pile of rocks everywhere, but I'm okay with it. But at least now, as soon as I put the egg in, it's done. We definitely hatched some new ones. They did not have the stats we were looking for. But since we are getting a colossal collection of these guys, we might as well make more breeding farms. Okay, now I have 3 breeding farms going, so they're going to produce eggs quite quickly. The more we produce, the more breeding farms we can make, the faster we can do this. And since my stupid incubation farm doesn't work anyway, we might as well put a breeding farm over here. It turns out all I've really managed to accomplish so far was created a giant circle of love. I've also realized with all the cheating I'm doing, I don't really need anything other than dragons here at the base. If they're not breeding, they're wasting my time. So we're just going to sit back and relax and let a little bit of time pass so we can hatch a few more dragons. A very exciting wait later, and we have lots of eggs to work with. I did get Ferocious out of this one, so that's a new high-end trait. This one has Workaholic and Vanguard, so we're finally starting to get some good traits. And there's Runner, we finally got a faster one. So that gives it an enhanced 20% in movement speed, so we need to breed this one to hopefully get even more. So these two should have a pretty good chance of producing offspring that are also quite quick, and hopefully they get quick times 2 or 3 or 4. I'm 40% sure the bosses have respawned by now. Apparently not. I have made all the pals lucky, but the dragons won't respawn, so I might have broken the game more than I intended to. Wow, look at the size of that thing. I'll take it. Well anyways, while I'm waiting for those two to produce some high value eggs, I'm gonna go back to hatching more to hopefully get really lucky. I've also realized that I've already put the wrong 2 together to breed. While the male has Runner, the female does not have anything. And we should have the Legend because Legend actually makes them a lot faster. So now these two have a very high chance of having 2 of their passive traits be about speed, and hopefully we get lucky and get 4 of traits about speed. I did just get another one with Runner, so that's actually a really good start. So this pair is also a Runner combined with Legend. So a lot of their children have 2 of the speed traits, and then hopefully we get extra speed traits and we smash them all together. So now with a little luck between these 3 pairs, we could get some really high speed eggs born, and then with a little luck after that, we'll have the ultimate speed demon. There we go, we have it with Legend and Runner both in the same one. Okay, that's 2 with Legend and Runner, so the breeding obviously is pretty reliable once you get those traits started. So I think if I add the male of Legend and Runner into the other one, it will have their children have Legend, Runner, and Swift. There might only be 5 eggs here right now, but all of these have a very high chance of being amazing. And they're all duds. Well, it turns out that if you leave these morons for long enough, they'll give you 20 eggs. The first one we hatched has 4 yellow traits, 3 of which are speed ones, so I don't really have to go through the other 19. But now we'll just make ourselves a dedicated egg box and we can hatch these later and do some more unethical experiments. So here's the speed of my usual jet dragon, and here's the speed of my turbo jet dragon. It is a noticeable difference, but it is only a 0 star and level 1, so we need to work on that. So we're going to need what's called a PAL condenser. And our new jet dragon leveled up to level 6 somehow. Not sure how that happened, don't really care because we've got some condensing to do. We just smash some of our spare dragons together and they'll go into new dragon. Every time we do this with an increasing number of dragons, his star number is going to go up until he's a 4 star. So not only do we get to abuse and breed these in unethical situations, we now get to sacrifice them all. For it to hit 3 star, it needs to have 32 of these sacrificed, so we might actually run out before getting to our big number. Okay, it's going to take 64 dragons to get it up to 4 star. We do not have 64 left, we've got some eggs to hatch unfortunately. That's crazy to me, that we still need another 44 eggs hatched just to get this thing to its max stars. Well, I've painstakingly hatched all the dragons I need. That's going to increase our jet dragon up to 4 stars. It's going to be a massive hypersonic dragon. Now I just need to find a way to level it up to level 50, but boy is it fast. To see exactly how fast it is, I'm going to fly from here all the way to where jet dragon spawns. That's about halfway across the map and we're going to see how long it takes. We're just arriving in the area that took about 60 seconds exactly, so we can cross the whole map in probably 120 seconds. I don't know why these didn't spawn in as lucky, they were certainly supposed to, but we'll see if we can just capture it for now. I mean, we have a 100% chance, so I'd be pretty surprised if we didn't. That also leveled up my jet dragon to level 50. The boss one still has far more HP, but the new one is much faster. And so I can differentiate between them, I'm going to call this one Zoom. So we ride Zoom when we've got places to be. The other one doesn't get a name. It doesn't deserve a name. Pretty sure I'm supposed to have been doing these boss battles this entire time. But I suspect my Mega Super Dragon is more than up to the task of defeating this thing. Although the boss does have 70,000 HP, I think we're in good shape. Well, he's definitely hitting her for a few thousand HP already. He's not really taking any damage at all, so I think he's in good shape for this, but we're going to do this the fast way and use my machine gun. It turns out that nothing is a match for a high-powered assault rifle. You know what? We should probably actually just try and capture these. Okay, apparently we're not allowed to capture this thing. So let's see if we can make a small adjustment and capture it anyway. We have a 0.00% chance of we caught it anyway. I have no idea what that's going to do to the game, but probably nothing super great. Like, now the game doesn't really know what to do because I was supposed to defeat the boss, so I think I'm just stuck in here for 8 minutes with no way out. The timer's up and I'm stuck. Well, I found my way out. On to the next stupid idea.